Well, welcome everybody. I am excited to be back today with a Your Story Matters conversation. Today we have Elsa here. She is a certified stress and management coach and a licensed health and life coach, and she helps her clients to create new healthy habits to manage their daily stress. Today, she is here to share her story of how stress was wreaking havoc on her overall health and wellness, and how she took this pain and disease that she was experiencing and decided to dig in, learn, and start to take her life back. By managing the stress to better her overall health journey, she has since then gone on to take all that she has learned and to basically take it back and share it and pass it forward to all of you out there so that you too can have a better life without stress taking you straight out of the equation. Now, this topic is very near and dear and close to my heart because back in 2008, stress almost took my life. I was 3 points away from needing a pacemaker. I was knocking on death's door. I was a hot mess. And I was just praying that I would just go to sleep and not wake up because I was in so much pain. I know how stress can kill us. I used to always think that it was just some weird random phrase that our parents used to kick around, like all those weird phrases that you'd hear growing up. But no, stress can kill. And I learned how to heal myself. And it was quite a journey because the doctors didn't quite tell me what was really going on. They tried to just throw some quick, like, yeah, you're just premenopause. I was 32, like, possible, but like very rare. And I just couldn't believe that to be my diagnosis. And so when my husband pushed me to go and see a naturopath doctor, that is where we found out that I was not premenopause. I was a hot mess, knocking on death's door, and all the things. So I'll just let you have the floor, Elsa, and just to share all of what stress had done to you and how you decided to like pick up all of that pain and anguish and discomfort that you were experiencing and be like, no, there is a better way. And I'm going to find some answers.
Exactly. You said it all. Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction. And thank you as well for sharing your story. Show how stress can can have a huge impact on our life and health, even more that we may think. So let's see, where should I start? If I can describe myself as a little girl, actually I was, well, even until today, I'm really someone that is a discreet person. I love to be like, to do my things like in the background. I don't like to have that much attention on me, right? But with years going through school and so forth, I basically was, without realizing, I was putting like so much stress on myself. I was paying attention to every word that I was saying, just to make sure to not be judged and so forth. Without realizing, I was always taking care of everyone except myself. And I believe that right now, thinking about it, I most probably was doing the same thing than other people in my entourage are doing. So often we may mimic some actions than other people. So yes, I was just putting a lot of pressure on myself to do really great at school, even in the work environment as well. I was always trying to be the best that I can. However, and then that lead to a lot of low self-esteem as well. I was tending to comparing myself as well to others. I always thought that the grass was always greener on the other side and all. So yes, the first time that I realized that something was going on, I was actually at university. And then every time that I will go out, like in between classes to have my meals, once back into the classes, my stomach, it was constantly making loud noises. And the people just around me were like, oh, we just ate. Like, do you want something else to eat? And so forth. But I wasn't actually hungry. I was just, I don't know, I thought that I was developing, I didn't digest at the time, like fully my food and so forth. And then after several weeks of constant stomach discomfort, I was often leaving the classroom to actually go to the washroom and so forth because it was too loud, right? So I was actually feeling ashamed too, especially whenever I had to write like an exam. You know, everyone is quiet in the classroom and then you could only hear my own stomach. So because of
and it's so much louder to you, but like
exactly.
you think that everybody hears it on the big speaker, right?
Totally, totally. So I was even more stressed at that time. And then it became so chronic that from that moment, every time that I will actually go to the classroom, I was always making sure to sit just next to the door in case that I needed to leave pretty fast at the classroom. And then when I basically started to work full time, I had exactly the same habit. Slowly, I developed like a fear to sit uh, between like two people or too close to other people too. I was always trying to find like a cubicle or a workplace next to the door or really far away from other colleagues and so forth because I was too afraid of basically the digestive issues that I slowly developed. So no matter what I was eating, it was like a vicious cycle. I was trying my best to figure out what was going on with the food choices I was making, but at the same time, I was stressing myself out about it. So it just got worse and worse. And then on top of that, the type of work that I was doing because the work schedule was rotative, like it was between 7 in the morning and 11 p.m. At first, I thought that oh well, I can manage it. I don't have any kids right now and so forth. So the shift will always change from one day to another between those hours. And after a while, because I didn't have like a good routine, that even more on my stress level.
For sure.
What else? Even the pressure as well from my surroundings. Oh, when are you going to get married and so forth? When are you going to be like that? You know, so it has been an accumulative of different things going on. So everything was in my mind. I was pretty good at hiding my stress with a smile, but not only I developed digestive issues, but slowly I had the skin eruption as well, all over the place. What else? At some point, I had huge migraines, and then I almost at some point did like a car accident. So much the migraines were heavy, and
that was one of my symptoms too, love, is the migraines.
the
And
migraines. Yeah.
I typically don't like to take Tylenol or Advil or anything like that. I'm kind of like a go-to essential oils kind of girl, or
Yes.
arnica, like the more natural remedies for pain relief. And none of my natural remedies were helping. So I'm like, all right, I'll bite the bullet. I'll take some Advil. And I was literally choking them back like candy, like a bottle of 64 pills. I would end up trying to bite the pain, and I would go through that bottle in 3 to 4 days. And it wasn't even taking a chunk out of the pain that I was experiencing. And the headaches were paralyzing because my body was malnutritioned. Like when they did all my scans, they said that I was over 200 pounds, showing up anorexic because my body was just repelling all the nutrients. I would go in my mouth and I was the same way. I had to always, if I was going to eat something, I had to be close to a washroom, or I did not want to be eating in public because I knew it would just run through me like water within moments. Like I wouldn't even get to that gurgle, that discomfort of that noise of that digestive system. It would just literally run through me like water, and it literally would, you have to run to the bathroom like
Right away.
snappos, otherwise you'll be having one heck of a mess on your hands, and if you're in public, that is no fun.
No, it's not at all. It's
Not
not
at
at all
all.
for sure. No, no, I
Yeah.
totally get it. Like the migraines, they're so intense. Even the lighting was
Oh.
disturbing me. So when I was working, I was trying to have to don't open the light at all. Even the noise around me was disturbing and so forth. I
Mhm.
totally get it. And as you like panel and so forth, they weren't working. So I had no choice to ask my doctor to have the prescription. And
Mhm.
she had to prescribe something really strong to help with those migraines. Um, and the way that I was coping at the time with the stress level was with food. And a lot of comfort food and so forth, a lot of takeouts as well at the time. And then slowly by gaining weight as well, I had more acne, so I was putting on even more foundation on
Mhm.
my face. Um, I I used to enjoy shopping, but then during that time, no. At some point, I went shopping. I was like everything that I wanted to wear, they weren't fitting anymore. So then I
That's the
called my
worst.
boyfriend, and then I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing here. There's nothing is fitting anymore." Since then, he was like, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." At least I had a good support system, but it was just so strange to experience all of that progressively, and how intense the symptoms basically accumulate one after the other, one after the other.
And it
And
does knock on your confidence and your self-esteem.
yes, definitely.
And none of us really want to go to the store and be like, oh yeah, I have to get 3 sizes larger than I'm typically used to wearing. And that, like, that, talk about a meltdown in the dressing room. I've been there. Like, this
That
is
is
working. I'm out of here. I hate this. Boycott. It's your problem. You
yeah,
might tell me it's a size 12, but it's really a size 4, and you're just trying to make me feel worse about myself.
exactly. It's like so much is going on
So
out
much.
there. Oh my God, it's a journey. So then at some point I was like, okay, no, something really needs to change. I did a lot of Google. I know that normally we're not supposed to self-diagnose ourselves by going on Google, but I really, because I felt I was so sad, and then I couldn't figure out, okay, what needs to be done. So then I was like, at least let me do some research. And I really took it seriously. I had a notepad. I basically act like a detective. So I make sure to take a lot of notes about how I can turn things around. And then at some point, I learned about stress management. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then when I started to look at the description of the certificate and so forth, I was like, oh, that's definitely something that I need. So in parallel to that, um, I did consult as well a psychologist, just to figure out what deeply was going on, because while talking to the psychologist too, she let me realize how much I was not taking care of myself, how much I was always taking care of others and so forth. Like I had to learn to be kind to me too. And while I was learning about stress management, it's really at that time that I realized that, okay, there are different ways to manage it. Um, in addition to taking care of myself mentally, even like with food, with exercise, of self-care, there are tools out there. So that was my first like highlight. Oh yes, there's something that I can do, and not only like medication and so forth. I felt that whenever I was talking um, to my doctor, nothing. She was simply telling me just change job and everything will be fine, or just lose weight, and that's it. But um, I didn't felt the support to actually figure it out. On the meantime, that I feel that I actually am able to find a job that is less stressful, how can I address it right away, right?
Right.
I need those tools right now. And when it comes to food, like what are actually the foods that can help me? I didn't have those informations from the doctor neither. And you know that usually with the doctor, you only have like a 5 minutes consultation and
Yeah.
that's it. It's really quick, unfortunately. So yes, I did my first certificate in stress management at the Nesta Spencer Institute online, since I am located in Montreal, Canada. And that helped to get like some relief by following through basically all the different tips over there. And then afterwards, basically I continued in addition to the bachelor that I had in kinesiology at school, I made sure to keep learning because I felt that I needed more resources as well. So I did a certification as well in health and life management. So with everything that I have been learning, by putting this into practice, I slowly see that yes, depending on the different choices that we make when it comes to nutrition, while making sure that it's delicious, because we don't want food to be bland.
That's right.
Yes. The importance of simply the body movement, right? Making different types of physical activities, or because I'm creative too, simply like doing some bracelets and so forth, or just drawing. Like back in the days, like it's been when I was younger, I was always like loving to draw and so forth. So just like going to, I guess, quote unquote, like childhood activities, like things that you used to love in the past, and then trying to adapt them or do them again. That could be another way to turn out. And slowly listening to inspirational podcasts as well. That all of that has been for me a great way to basically turn things around. In other words, so I guess the biggest aha moment for me was like from the moment that I took care of myself first. Then I realized that I was actually getting even more energy to help the others surrounding me. So then I was like, oh, okay, no, I don't have to neglect myself. I can actually take care of myself, and then I'll still be there with the others too. But at the same time, I had to learn, okay, I need to set boundaries too. How to say no into different ways. Because if I say yes to a lot of things, there are certain things that I will have to, that I might neglect. So how to keep my own balance in life and so forth.
So true.
Yeah, so since naturally I love to help people, that was my cue afterwards to look online about, okay, in what way I can do that. And then since then I have been coaching
Beautiful. I
to
love how
help
you
others.
are sharing your knowledge forward, because when we have these experiences, we think we're the only one. When we're in it, we're like, nobody else deals with this.
Exactly.
Right. But there's so many of us, we just don't share because it's not comfortable to be like, yeah, like it runs through me, or you get gas, or whatever it is that's happening. But our body is manifesting that there's something off balance. And I love how you also took some of your creativity and tapped back into your childlike loves as part of your therapy journey, because there's so much value in creativity. Like if we're wired that way, not everybody is wired to like be a painter or to do those things, but there is some really amazing therapies out there when it comes to the arts, whether it be dance, drama, drawing, painting, pottery, whatever. If we can tap into one of those, if we have that creative flair within us, if we can tap into a passion, it is a stress reliever, because it allows you to escape your thoughts, and it just allows you to open up new doors and avenues of that creative flow to happen. And it's almost like journaling. Like some people will journal and some people will draw, and it's kind of like, and some people put the two together. I love those people.
Yes, that's a really combination.
I love seeing, if you've ever seen anybody do like Bible journaling.
Bible journaling?
Yeah. So
Oh,
there's
no.
actually Bibles that have like these big like wider margins in their on their pages, and people will draw and they take it all into the scripture, and I just get so inspired by it. But I'm like, and I've tried, like, trust me, I've tried. I don't have time. I'm like, yep, that is a fail bomb. But like, I
Yes.
pulled out the glitter and all the things, because sometimes you just need to be like a child to kind of get out of your head. And I love how you use that component within your healing journey, that it's not heard of. Not a lot of people actually tap into that as part of their healing modality. And I love that. Most people are
Thank
like,
you.
move your body, eat the right foods. What food do I eat? Like, I love it all. Like,
And
right?
even regarding tapping into your body reminds me of what I was having all those digestive issues that led me to IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and so forth. Um, at the moment that I basically took the steps to make some changes, at first I was actually really, I guess, afraid or uncomfortable to share the symptoms that I was experiencing with others. So whenever that I was invited to certain places or going to restaurants, even though at the beginning of the the period that I was basically doing the shift to get better,
Mhm.
because I was finally identifying what type of food didn't set well with me.
Mhm.
Once I was invited at people's place, I was like, oh my God, okay, I know that I can eat this and this, but those things, I know that once back home, I won't be feel good. I will feel like all sluggish, tired, and so forth. But I was in a place that I felt like, okay, if I don't eat um, those types of food, I might be considered like being rude or impolite because I'm saying no to those foods, right? So at first it was a journey, basically a struggle for me to simply explain, okay, it's not that I don't want to eat your food. It's simply that I might have some consequences or intolerance or allergies afterwards. So it was like with practice, I had to learn on how to being okay to share the symptoms with, if ever I'm comfortable with other people. I don't have to share all the details, which is totally fine, but in what way I can let them know that it's not that I don't want to, I don't want to be rude. It's just that I have to basically take care of my health, in other words, right?
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
more that I practiced that, it became like easier. And something in particular that really stuck with me is that I was talking to a close friend, and she was like, she called me and then she said, okay, since I know that there are certain things that you cannot eat, I'm planning to cook that meal. Will that be okay? And then at first I told her, just cook it. And then I will, because I started to always making sure to eat before going out. I was like, if I cannot eat it, I just won't eat it. And then she told me, no, Elsa, I want you to let me know exactly what you can eat. Because if ever there are certain things that you can, I am willing to make some changes for you. Like, I know that you want to help the others, but let us help you too. And
Aw.
then like, don't take that out of us. And then I was like, oh, okay, yes, that's true. And then I let her know right away, okay, so those are the few ingredients I cannot have. And then she was like, okay, thank you. And then she actually did the adjustment for me. So she made sure that I was able to eat her meal. So that really stuck with me, that it's okay to ask for help, or it's okay to let the other people help you. Um,
Mhm.
so when you said about tapping into your intuition and so forth, um, I was thinking about that example, how, yes, it's,
So good. That's so good, especially because you said, like, even from childhood, you struggled with making sure that everybody else was okay. That people
exactly,
pleaser mentality that some of us can get stuck into, of always like taking care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves. it's so easy just to still be stuck in that space and not actually tell people what we need. And it takes away a blessing from them because they want to provide something that you will enjoy. For example, my sister-in-law, there was a season many years ago that she was vegan. So when she'd come for family Christmas dinner or Easter, any of those kinds of things, there'd be absolutely nothing but a piece of lettuce on her plate. And it bothered me. Like, she came prepared just like you would have. And so she wasn't starving, and she was quite happy just to be hanging out with us. But it bothered me that she didn't have anything on the table that she could eat. So I was like, oh no, we gotta fix this. So I went out of my way, like, what do vegans eat? Like, what is tofu? Like, what is a tofu turkey? Like, they actually have that. I'm like, how do you cook this thing? So I went out of my way just to make sure that she'd have stuff available to eat on Christmas dinner, because it was my joy to make sure that everybody had something on their plate. Like, that's part of that experience, right? It's just coming together and sharing a meal, not a piece of lettuce. Like, right? So I'm glad that you went out of your comfort zone and shared with your friends what your sensitivities are, because then it gives them the chance to be a blessing and to honor you and love on you a little bit, because you probably give so much to them in value as well. So good on you for stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes, thank you. It's not easy to get out of the comfort zone for sure.
No.
But once you do it, you feel more comfortable about it, and then you keep going slowly.
And
Like
then
in
it
anything.
builds your confidence too, right? Like, it
Exactly.
empowers who you are. Like, this is who I am. And we're all different, right? We all have different experiences, different situations that we go through, and it shapes who we are. But like, it's literally just being able to share the colors of our life with others, and there's a lot of it, a lot of color.
Definitely,
Right?
yes. Yes, and
So
even
good.
about confidence, it's true that even people were saying, okay, no, you really look like more confident compared to before, like what have you been doing and so forth. And that really took with me. I was like, wow, how come? And then because at first, like certain people, because they didn't understand why I was making some changes, and there might be like some judgment and so forth. Oh no, she's just like following the trend, blah, 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 without knowing what was going on. But after a while, realizing that no, actually I'm healthier. So then they were more curious. Okay, how come, what has been going on? So without noticing, I'm sure like you, like we are, I guess with action, we can inspire without realizing.
So true.
Mhm, mhm.
So true. And guaranteed, they're like, you look healthier, you have more glow to your skin, more energy, like you're standing taller. Like, what are you doing? Tell me more. Right?
Exactly.
So good.
Yes.
So good. We are a living example of what we do as coaches. Like, we don't come into this space without actually having our own journey of some kind that we all have overcome and have found some victory and built confidence around before we can actually share it with the world. So good on you for taking that journey and all the bumps and bruises of navigating your health and trying to figure out what your body needs, being intuitive. That is so important. I love the phrase of just being a scientist of your own life. Like, really, just I love how you grabbed your notebook and you just started writing things down, and just being able to, like, you have to stop and just and listen. Sometimes we just don't even give ourselves the time and space to be quiet and listen. What is this food saying to me? How is it affecting my mood? Because we often don't even inquire about that. We could just have a really low day or very short tempered, and not realizing that outcome is stemmed from maybe binging a bag of potato chips the day before. We don't really know until you start writing down and taking inventory of what we're putting into our bodies, what's expelling out, whether it be the eczema or acne or our mood swings, our energy levels, whatever it is. But we have to be able to take inventory and and really examine all the things because it all is one beautiful big picture of understanding our DNA, like how we are wired, what is our best
Exactly.
fuel, right? So
Yes, it really varies from one person to another, and things that we're learning about ourselves definitely overlaps too. And uh, I feel as well that having that, whenever that you look at your symptoms with, I guess, another approach, like for instance, when I was experiencing all those digestive issues, when I was into a better place, I was like, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. What is my stomach is trying to let me know? Like, what's the message here? Because right now we're so much like on the go, we need to do this and this and this, but it demands, I guess, like practice and so forth to actually sit down and being intuitive and so forth, listening to our body to try to figure out what it is calling for. Sometimes, yes, our body may call for food, and that's totally okay. And then other time, maybe what the digestive noise is doing is actually calling me to do something creative or like dancing and so forth because I haven't done it for a while. So what's the message that the body is trying to tell me? It could be food, like it could be something else. Maybe I'm missing someone, so I should call someone to get that connection and social and so forth.
so good, so good. Yeah, because even community can feed our spirits and really help. It's such a vast amount of things, like the creative stuff, the connection with humans and community and building relationships, that all has an effect on our emotional and our physical health. Because so often, like, we did a study last year, the Daniel Plan, if you heard of the Daniel Plan.
No, I didn't.
So the Daniel Plan works on 5 essentials. It's like faith, food, fitness, uh, focus, so our mind, health, and friends. So we have that community, but all 5 of those pieces are so vital to our health. So they often would say, like when it came on in that food section, they would say, put a note on the fridge and be like, with a couple of questions like, are you hungry? Like, okay, why are you here? First of all, like, why are you coming to the refrigerator? Are you hungry? Great, grab something to eat, right? But are you emotional? Like, are you in a fight with your loved one and then you need to go and reconcile? Like, eating the chocolate cake in the fridge or whatever isn't going to fix that relationship, and it's not going to take away the pain that you're feeling from that that negative conversation that you had or whatever, that argument. So you have to go and reconcile. So it's like, is it relational? Are you lonely? Do you need to pick up the phone and talk to a friend? Do you need a hug? Like, call your friend over for coffee. Let's just, cry together, watch a girly movie, and whatever it is. Because sometimes what our body, like you said, that stomach rumble might be there, and we might think that it needs to be filled or fixed with food, but it's not always the case. It could be, like you said, just having that connection with others. And but you won't know that until you start asking yourself the questions and start being that scientist and start listing things out. But do take the time to do that. That's so important.
Yes, your example, it reminds me of when we think about nourishing our, how I call like the body, mind, and soul. So basically thinking about, okay, today, have I done like something for my body? It could be simply drinking my favorite cup of tea or coffee and so forth. Have I done something for my mind? Maybe something that is productive or that gives me like a purpose. And then have I done something for my soul? It could be like a prayer, or simply thinking about 3 things that I'm grateful for. It could be as little as, let's say that I went to the store and I met someone that simply gave me like a smile. And that made me happy. Right now, it's more difficult with the COVID and the
For
mask and
sure.
so forth.
But we can smile with our eyes.
Exactly.
I always do these crazy eyes, like.
That's the new, yeah.
Yes. Just so that they know or I will announce it. I'm smiling at you, by the way.
Ah, that's
It's
a good idea.
important. And
Yeah.
we have to, all the pieces, all the things. And I guess what would be your most important piece of someone's hearing this message today and hearing your story and be like, that's great, but like it is one of the hardest things to do is be in that pit. Like, when you were in that really low space with your health and you're just like, you feel like giving up and you're just like, there's just no hope for me. What would your advice be for that person?
That's a really great question. Usually, it can be so hard at that moment to figure out what could actually work, or how to feel better. I think that I will tell someone that they are not alone,
Mm,
that there is definitely something out there, to not give up, to be counted with themselves, and to really take it step by step. Like, even though they feel that there is a difference, it could be as little as 1%, then
mm,
the previous day, that is already like one a step forward, if that makes sense. Because I believe that every small steps that we make, they accumulate, and then afterwards they get to greater results. So I will definitely tell someone to that don't feel like that feel at their lowest at the moment, um, to keep pushing. Definitely, you're not alone. There is either a resource or someone out there that can provide you at least that little push or that little light to keep going. And yes, whenever maybe by doing some detective could
yeah.
be a solution to get there too.
Yeah, and your story's not over, right? Like if you're still
Yes.
breathing oxygen and you can still open your eyes in the morning, your story's not over. So even though it feels like, because I've been there, like I was knocking on death's door. I remember when I was in my pit and nobody understood what I was going through, even family where I was telling them like, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. It was tough because again, they had that same narrative, like, oh, you're just on that new fad thing, right? Like, how long is this going to last for? It's like, no, I seriously, it will take me out. If I keep going on this trajectory, I do not want to live. Like I felt like I just would pray to the good Lord, just take me home already. I'm done. Like I was
Mhm.
tapping out. But it was important for me as I started to take those little tiny steps, and it was like small steps at the beginning because I was in complete rebellion. Like, because I had to strip everything, no coffee, no gum, no sugar, no meat. I was only allowed fish, and I didn't grow up with fish. So if you've never grown up with fish and all you're allowed to eat is fish, it is one of the hardest things to
I can
incorporate on your
imagine.
plate.
I can
How do I
imagine.
cook this? I have to touch that? You have to be kidding me. So, but it takes time, and it's just like little tiny baby steps, and they stack just like habits, right? Like you just one thing at a time and have that patience with yourself. I love that advice. So good.
And I guess a great tool, I feel it's a blessing. There are advantages and disadvantages when it comes to internet, but probably to everything that have been going on is that actually I have a PCOS. So that even that is linked to stress, right?
Okay.
But I don't have anyone like in my surroundings that has it, except one actually that I known after a while. But um, because of the basically you may feel like tired, and it's only after doing some research that I realized that there is like a type of PCOS that is linked to inflammatory. So it was basically linked to the digestive issues that I had that
Right.
added to. But it's really because I dig again to find like support group that included women that have PCOS as well. So that was another, um, I guess, that reconfirms how we are not alone. Like
Right.
often for a long time, I was like, oh my God, I'm the only woman that
I'm
has it. I don't know
broken.
what's going on exactly. I was only giving pills and that's it. No, it's only birth control pills I can manage it. But actually, no, it's not. there are other ways, other approach that you can take. And it's really by digging and asking questions, not being afraid actually to ask questions. We might be really surprised. And yes, that's how I learned that actually there are even more women than I thought that has it. So I guess that could be another advice to not be afraid of asking questions. Yeah.
Yeah, getting yourself plugged into a community with others that have similar struggles, because then that way you can lean on each other and grow and learn from each other.
Exactly.
So good. This
Yes,
has
learning.
been awesome conversation. I thank you so much for coming and sharing your story, especially as you started out, you're like, I'm a very private person. I love how you've been able to break free from that, just that uncertainty, and be able to come into this community and share your story and how you've been able to overcome and learn and grow from this, and now able to take it to the world and share all that wisdom and help other women find vitality and health in their own journey. So tell me and the community members, if they want to reach out and connect with you and work with you in some way, how do they get in touch with you?
Yes. Oh, thank you. They can definitely reach me by email. So it's actually my name, healthcoach.elza@gmail.com.
Okay.
And yes, I am like on LinkedIn, Instagram as well, and Facebook. So that can be another way to reach me. But yes, by only adding my name, Healthcoach.elza, they should be able to reach me.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. I'll put your social media handles under here on the video, just so that it's easy for people to write it down, and go and follow her and learn from her. Do you have any programs, or do you work one-on-one with clients, or how does that work with people if they wanted to work with you?
Yes, definitely. I work one-on-one with people. So I basically have two different programs. I help my clients with their health journey, and then I have another program with stress.
That's so good.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Which
I
I'm
have
sure
the
there's some overlap, right? Like
Oh,
there's a
yes,
lot of
definitely.
overlap, but being able to be like, hey, I'm maxed out, and being able to dive into tools and get the right resources to combat that stress, will definitely be the fuel that you need for your health to get on a better trajectory, for sure. Because
Yes, you're totally right. There is some overlap. Yes,
yeah, for
yes,
sure.
exactly. Mhm.
Yes, well, thank you so much for taking the time today and coming and sharing your story. And I'm sure there's others in this community that were similar to us. We're like, nobody else has got the same issue.
Mhm.
But no, you are not alone. So you can reach out to Elsa or myself, and I can get you in touch with her to be able to deep dive and to learn how to combat the stress in your life and to take your health back, so that you can have a vibrant life filled with confidence and energy and all the amazing things that we all desire to have,
Yes,
especially when you feel like you hit that brick wall and you're just like,
yes,
no, I guess my life expectancy is coming to an end. It's not true. Do not believe that lie. You can still turn it around. It's not too late. So
exactly. It's not too late. But thank you to you. Thank you so much, Tracy. It means a lot that you gave me this opportunity to share my story. So I definitely hope to stay in touch.
yes,
And yes, hello to everyone as well.
thank you so much for coming and sharing your time with us today. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.